Welcome to TaleLearnCode. Here there will be tales about software development, learning from each other, code to build solutions. And now your host, Chad Green.
All right, good evening, everybody. Down just a little bit. There we go. All right, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's having an awesome day today. I had a very busy day today. Spent most of my day reading. Hey there, Ivan. Reading use cases and other type of documentation, and starting to build a data model for a new solution we're building. So I gotta admit, that kind of wore me out. But now we get to work on some more fun data. Working on some Lego data. So sure enough, we'll work on tonight. I actually still don't have all the data load stuff working. I do. One of the things I did have to fix. I had to fix some things on the bulk data load, the load that does the initial load, or the process that does the initial load. Actually, in the very last step, where it's actually linking sets to parts, there was a very simple logic error, but you didn't notice it, right? And so, but now I've got that working. Ran it today. It takes 3 hours 20 minutes to load the database. Now, if I was really worried about speed, there are definitely some things I could do. I could fire off multiple tasks and threads and so forth, but I'm not really worried about that. All right, it just needs to run. So I worked on that a little bit over the weekend. I also did get some work done on the daily process. It turned out that code's a little bit more than I was thinking it was going to be. But right now I'm in the process of just getting it done, right? And one of the things, and I'll show this here in a moment before we move on to what I really want to work on tonight, but one of the things to think about here, because I want to get into working Azure Functions. And of course, Azure Functions has a couple limitations. They're actually good limitations in some sense. And the biggest one being is Azure Functions cannot run more than 10 minutes. And, to be honest with you, if you're running 10-minute functions, especially if you're running them all day long, you have a problem, right? That's not what Azure Functions was meant for. So, sure enough, that daily update would probably take, I don't know, because I haven't ran it yet, but it'll probably take about 30 minutes is my guess. All right, because I'm still querying a lot of stuff and going, doing daily, doing checks and everything. Because again, problem is I just get a new set of data. I don't get the deltas. So data could have changed anywhere within the data, and I don't. That's not what I get from Reworkable. So, and I'll show this here in a moment. But basically, I worked on splitting things apart so that I can. Basically, I use durable functions, and one of the cool things you can do in durable functions is the fan out, fan in process. So, hey Scott. So what I'm looking to do. Reminds me, I forgot to start something up here. What it allows me to do is I can, so like for example, all the colors. Well, I can go grab all the colors that comes in from Reworkable, and then I can fan out. So basically, just do all the colors all at the same time, right? It basically, it's using threads and all that great stuff. Nice part is I don't have to worry about the threads or anything. I literally, I create an activity. Well, I should say you don't have to create threads. You have to create the task, right? The async task, and do all those. But then the Azure engine, the functions engine, takes care of all that going out, fanning it out. Spin up other Azure resource functions for you automatically. But that's some of the benefit of Azure Functions. Is it'll spin those servers up for me to do a massive amount of work in a couple of minutes, all right? And it'll spin it back down, all right? And again, I'm only paying for consumption. So the number of transactions I'm running through it and so forth. So, so I think that's going to work well. But like I said, I didn't get it done. But what I like to start working on tonight is I actually start working on the API, right? So, how are we gonna, like when a user comes in to search for a Lego set to add to what they own, right? That type of thing. I want to start working on that. So, the goals is to be able to do search, and I think the goal also would be to add a set to a personal collection and add parts to a personal collection, and in that order, right? So search sets, search parts, and then like I said, add a set and add a part, right? And then really probably that fifth thing, we're not going to get to the fifth thing tonight, but the fifth thing in order would be then to part out a set. So if I bought a set just for the parts, and sometimes people do that, right? They'll buy a set just to get the parts, or like for example, the ice skating rink, which was a gift for purchase. I have 4 of them, I think. I either have 3 or 4 of them, and I actually received 4 or 5 of them because one of them was sent to a nephew in the Philippines. But the point is, I have all these extra sets. I don't need all those extra sets, so I'm gonna part this out, right? I have not parted out yet, partially because I want this to work, so I can actually kind of use this as a test bed, this application. So all right, so let's take a look here. So first, I want to prove I got the data working, right? And also kind of show how we do queries, right? Because this is going to come into play into what we're going to be working on here. So I'm here in, this is Visual Studio Code. I've got this extension. I could do just a query. This is just going to give me everything in the database. And I will say, depending on the tool you're using, will vary as to what exactly they'll show. And I'll show what I mean by that. So here you go. So we just ran that. We just got all the objects, coming back. All right. So here you see all the objects. You see different colors, which represent the different types, which in Gremlin was called labels. And then we can see that it's returning me 55,000, just shy of 56,000 objects. Right. Now it's objects. It does include the edges. Right. So you actually do have to consider that. So if we think about this, so vertexes are 59,000 or 55,000. Sorry. We get the edges. There's another 502,000 in edges, and that's actually something to consider, because in a graph database, the edges are also documents, right? So they're also objects in here. So basically, what this means is I have like 558,000. 550, almost 559,000 objects or documents that make up this database. So not the biggest database in the world, right? But not small either, right? But that gives me all the Lego sets and parts. I still need to do minifigs. I will do minifigs, but I'm kind of keeping them out of the equation for the moment. The other thing I want to show here. So if we want to do queries. So again, I showed like this, this will give me everything. Actually, this is an expensive query. Hey, Curious Drive, how's it going? Because, I mean, like I said, this is basically retrieving, those 570,000 records. 560,000, 570,000, whatever it was. Which is why you see it taking a moment, right? Because this is actually doing quite a bit, right? I mean, this is like if it's SQL Server, if you could do a select from all tables, right? That's essentially what this is doing, right? I hope it didn't just freeze up on me here. It shouldn't be taking this long. Well, yeah, exactly. Let's see, I'm trying to get another window to open up. Because oh, there we go. That was interesting. I have not seen it take that long. But okay, so we got everything. Again, you can see all the JSON documents. You know, actually, I think we're strolling the limits of this tool. Now, I will say this. So I was talking about how different tools will get data a little bit differently. So like you see how this grabs it, but you know, if we were to run that same query in the portal, in the Azure portal, we'll see it does something a little bit different. It actually just returns one object, and basically returns the very first object it finds. All right. This is just, I mean, it's just the way how this tool works. But something to know, right? So if you're going to deal with gremlin databases, you need to understand how the different tools will retrieve it. And honestly, part of it is so not to do what we just did in Visual Studio Code. I'm literally just trying to get past the colors. There we go. So like I can do windows and doors, and I was trying to get past the colors because colors, I have no links to colors, just the way how I format my data. But here you can start seeing, right? So the windows and doors, and you can see it. And I will say, if you're looking at the Azure portal, so you notice it says 1 of 10, right? If I click on the arrow, it'll give me 11 through 20, right? So on and so on, because there will be quite a few windows and doors that this will link back to. So again, that's why I use two different tools for different things. But if we want to go back to here, so to see a query that we would most likely be doing, right? So I said I want to work on some queries. So for example, I probably want to be able to look up whatchamacallit. Just drew a blank. A Lego set, right? So so we'll do like has label set, right? That will distinguish again, because again, we're going to search with something someone is going to search against, and then we're going to say then probably something like maybe the set number, all right? So has set number. And then we'll search for in particular this set number. All right. Actually, I should do this first. So we can go grab all the sets first. There we go. So there's all the sets. There's quite a few sets. I mean, there's 16,500 sets, right? But then, like I say, we probably will then search for a set number, right? So we'll there we go. And sure enough, Corner Garage, it's actually not the last Lego set I put together. It's the last big Lego set I put together. That's what I was working on last week. But so there we have that query, right? So we can see how this can give us some information. But then I'd be willing to bet we'd want like, okay, what are the parts in this set, right? Well, here's the way how I would do this. I would look for the out edges, right? And happens to be the edge. And this is why knowing the direction of your edges are really important. But it happens to be this edge is called has, right? So I'm going to go get those out edges. And then if I want the parts, I have to go and then get the in vertice, all right? So basically what's going to happen here, so I'll do this step by step. So if I was to execute this, you'll see it says it can't display it visually because what this returns me are all the edges, all right? Which is important to note, all right? Because take a look here. look what I've got. I have, if I look at this, I have the, these properties here, right? So what's the color? What's the, is it a spare part, right? That type of thing. So these properties are actually really important. So so that's how we get those edges. Again, nothing will visualize that. So if I'm not even sure. I don't even remember what the portal does when I look at it that way. Okay, it just goes straight to the JSON. Portal's a little bit smarter. It knows just go right to the JSON. But then if I want the vertices, I do an NV, right? So because the edge, it's an outbound to the edge, it's an inbound, as far as relationship from the edge to the part. So here you go, I can do that. And so, and sure enough, there's a lot of parts. Let's see here. That set happens to have, let's see here, 2,568 parts, right? So hence, why you see so much stuff here. I can, now something interesting to note, if I do a count here, there's 319 different parts, right? So not number of parts. So again, some interesting things I could do with these queries. Again, it's just kind of learning the patterns, right? And you can actually do some really interesting stuff with graph databases. So, with that being said, let's think about what we want. Probably want something like, so like I said, so we're going to be able to search for set by set number. But here's the thing about set numbers. I gotta admit, I don't get why this happens, but you notice the set number is 206. Let me try again. 10264-1. Right? It's that part number listed here. I don't know where this -1 comes up from. Right? I'm assuming there are -2s. I don't know. Because like if you look at Lego, and we look up that very same set, you will notice that there's no -1 or what have you. So somehow, for some reason, all of the outside databases, they have those -1s. And again, I'm assuming, I guess maybe there could be multiple versions of a Lego set. I don't know. Like I said, I have yet to ever see -2, but I'm still new getting back into Lego. So, I actually need to look this up again, because if I do this, it's not going to return anything, right? I actually I gotta admit, I've forgotten. Let's take a look here. Gremlin query like. Let's see here. Because I know I've looked this up before, but I can't remember. That's right, you have to do this filter. So let's think about how we're going to do this. All right. So search for a set. That's actually just a search for a set. So probably what I want to do is do something like GV has label set, and then let's do filter IT get property, and basically this is basically a little bit of Java, right? Because again, the underneath cover, Gremlin's running Java. Can't all be great, right? And that's a joke. If you're a Java fan, I'm joking, right? Mostly. No, all seriousness. All right, so we're gonna look for set number. In it, I copied the starts with, but I probably need this contains. And then like 10264, right? So if I was to look that up, yeah, let's see if that actually works. Unsupported Groovy closure text. So somehow I didn't do it right. Or it's not supporting Cosmos. Or there. Let's see here. I'm going to look to see if the portal returns this differently, or if it also airs off, is also airing off. Hey there, C-Films. How's it going? Let's do Cosmos. Yeah. It's awesome to hear. Hope you had... Sure enough, everyone. Hope you all had an awesome weekend, or at least uneventful weekend. You're trying to stream. I have seen you streaming more often. I do like it. Even respond. I don't think I used UV server to test this query. All right, come on. I know I've done this before. I just like I say, I just got to remember how to do this again. Yeah, it's fine related. Yeah, come on. Oh, let's see here. I think they're coming along well. I mean, TaleLearnCode seems to have a pretty consistent number of folks. Each night we're streaming. Bricks of Chad is still pretty new. Still trying to build that one up. Just trying to figure this out again. Do I understand the C-Films brand? I mean, I understand your website. I think I've only had a chance to watch one of your streams. So, you know, I mean, I know the website's all about, you know, film or information about films. You know, I know it basically started with Seattle, but then you kind of been moving out in the Northwest territory. And hence the name C Films. Alright, I cannot find. Somewhere in here, there's a document about all the supported features. I'm trying to find that. Let's look at optimized queries. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Well, this is okay. This is interesting information, but not what I'm looking for. Oh, TaleLearnCode by far. Bricks with Chad just started November, maybe? November, December is when that got started. Hold on. Let's see here. Let me see when I started working on artwork for it. Let's see here. I'm purposely looking at the screen off the stream here. Let's see. Yeah, it must have been November going into December, because sure enough, I started working on artwork for it. I placed an order on December 14th. And I know I spent a couple weeks finding the artists I wanted to work with. So November is when I started. But yeah, because I mean, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, so TaleLearnCode started in May of last year, and like I said, Bricks with Chad just started in November. Two, and I've been trying to think about how to make this better. But, TaleLearnCode is on 3 nights a week, all right. Whereas, matter of fact, when we started, we were on 5 days a week, right? Because I actually was doing this as a lunchtime stream, and then that wasn't working very well because work was getting in the way. So that's when we moved to the 3 night a week stream, and whereas Brick with Chad only has one scheduled weekly, once a week scheduled. I might pop up other times, but and a lot of it boils down to I just don't have other days I can schedule. So, I think the last time I didn't do that, I did a stream other than a Saturday was like a Tuesday night. But like I can't schedule Tuesday nights because Tuesday nights happen to be a lot of user groups that I attend and or speak at. So, it would never be consistent with it. So, Definitely one of the things to think about. Okay, I cannot find. Here it is. It's a where step. I knew there was. Whoops! Did I not? Created. Equals, not equals, less than, greater than. Oh, no, not the where. That's not gonna, not for this type of value. That would help with numbers and dates, but that's not what we're trying to find here. There, that's the problem. Filter's not supported right now. Yeah, I basically, I mean, I don't make money off of TaleLearnCode or my community stuff, but this is my profession, is software development. So hence, I do spend more money. I do spend more money too, but more time on this, all right? Well, here's the reason why I can't do this. I could have swore but that's why I can't do it. It's not supported. Lambda are current supported. And sure enough, I will say, this is kind of my complaint about Gremlin on Cosmos, is that its development has been a little bit stagnant. Like you see stuff like, aren't currently supported. Well, that's probably, that's been that way for a long time. And the fact that it says currently indicates that they're going to, at some point, they have intention at some point to allow it. Well, this is a... So I think what I have to do instead... I could have swore... And admittedly, it has been a while since I've written a Gremlin application. I think what I have to do, and this is where I have to know that trick, you can query a Gremlin database on Visual Studio or on Cosmos using the Sql API. Let me look that up real quick. So Cosmos Gremlin query SQL API. So if you stream three times more at TaleLearnCode than the Brooklyn Chad, your TaleLearnCode grow 3 times faster. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a 3 times faster. I am working on, because I am starting to work on some YouTube videos for Bricks with Chad. So so like for example, this morning. Yeah, this morning I released, well, yeah. Why does it say 24 hours? It was supposed to be this morning. Well, anyway, I released, this video. And, two videos. They're both related. So, now grant you, there's only been a couple of views so far because, you got to start small, right? But I've started to do that, right? And, trying to get some other social media going there. So, should help move that up some more. Now, I mean, with it being said, it's funny if and actually you and I have had this conversation about like the numbers of folks, like for example, that watching science technology, watching programming, how it's not, comparatively in Twitch, it's not a very big number. Well, honestly, the number of people watch Lego or brick building streams is even less. Which is fine. Again, I'm not doing either one of these channels for the money. As well as I'm doing it wrong. I am looking for an older article. Here we go. I think this is the one I'm looking for. So like for example, so like this one again, this is just an extension of what I do anyways, because I speak at events and run events, and so this is really just an extension of that, right? Doing the doing stuff. And again, writing code I'd be writing anyways. The Lego stuff, the Bricks with Chad, I would be yeah, exactly, Matthew. Lego stuff. I build Lego because I want to build Lego, right? And so, it's a way to, I can chat with people while building. We can hang out and chill and talk about Lego or talk about whatever. So it's, now to Matthew's point, I will say, here's a perfect example. Go back to YouTube real quick. So this guy, right? I mean, he's not the biggest YouTuber around, right? He's got 15,000 subscribers, right? Gets decent amount of views, right? But this is, this is one of the more popular. I mean, there's definitely much bigger, right? But one of the, kind of an up and coming guy, right? But he's streaming right now, right? He doesn't, his streams are not scheduled at all, right? The only thing he has scheduled is, with YouTube, subscribers and members are completely different than on Twitch, right? So, there is no follower on YouTube, right? Basically the equivalent of a follower is a subscriber, right? And the equivalent of a Twitch subscriber is a member, right? So the only thing he has scheduled is if, sure enough, if you are at gold level, which I am, he has a bi-weekly hangout, right? So member-owned live stream, right? But point I was making with that, you've got somebody who, doesn't, basically just says, hey, I'm going to come on, right? He's got 39 viewers right now. And on Twitch, that's a pretty good number, right? Earlier today, M&R Productions, now grant you, now M&R Productions, now here you see a whole lot more number. Go level's $20 a month, but I get a lot of value out of what he does, and so that's why I pay for it. So M&R Productions. So sure enough, now this guy, much more popular, right? He's one of the bigger YouTube Lego streamers, right? And actually, he's a this guy's a full-time YouTube streamer, right? He had a pop-up stream earlier today on YouTube. It had 3,000 people watching, right? Now, there's reasons for why there were that many people there today. Brixie, right? So Brixie's another full-time. He's got 257 people watching him right now. Now granted, again, these are the bigger streamers, but the bigger Twitch streamers are not getting 257 people, right? Twitch Lego streamers, I should say. So I don't know. I've thought about that a little bit. Do I? Like here you go. You see this. He streamed this 2 hours ago. He's already has 36,000 viewers, but you see what the title is, right? I'm no longer the Lego ambassador, right? So it's actually kind of a big. There's some things going on in the Lego community. But yeah, so I have thought a little bit about maybe going to YouTube instead of Twitch, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I am looking for. Okay, so here. Yeah. Just try to remember this because basically, and this must be one I've done before. I would say so. That the Lego community is bigger on YouTube than Twitch, and part of it's just there's just not much. There's not many people on there, right? If we go to why did they mess up my channels we think you like, and what went away with the channel I want? Or category, I should say. Not art. There we go. Makers and crafting. Number one, again, look, there's only 1.4 thousand people watching makers and crafting, period, right? And then if you narrow it down to brick building, there's only 3 people streaming right now. Period. I was checking to see if I had English selected. Sometimes I do. For a total of 17 viewers. All right. So, that's. Now, grant you, I don't know. Just because I don't know these 3 doesn't mean that they're not someone really good. I just don't know them. But now, with that being said, I have seen people who will go to just chatting and do Lego streams. But part of that, again, if you know anything about just chatting right now, there's 308,000 people watching just chatting right now. It is generally the biggest category at any point in time. Sure enough, here you go. There's another, 6 streamers, 8 streamers. Yeah, 7 streamers. I can't count. No, that's not a streamer. So 6 streamers. I did say it right at the very beginning. But so, and actually, you look at this. That's not bricks. That's not bricks. I don't think that's bricks. That is actually a grand piano. I don't worry about the ad blockers.
Understood.
Oh, okay, that's just curious. This guy looked like someone I thought I knew, but it's not. That's why I was curious about that one. All right. This graphing. Okay, I don't want to do that part. Oh, no, that's fine. I gotta admit, I'm pretty worn out today. Like I said, it was a long day of doing data analysis and data structure analysis and trying to figure out a good data structure. I actually wish I could show it, right? Because I really like, it still has a lot of work to be done, but I really like the data model I built today. You're having trouble with McFlies? So what kind of problems are you having? Now, if I remember right, all we do is connect to this variables do not work. Yeah, well, I mean, I can see variables being tough, right? Excuse me. All right, let's. Well, I can definitely see, your operators. I mean that's operators are are a tough thing to begin with, anyways, right? What? Oh, trying to figure out what this other Visual Studio had open up. Let me. Here, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let me close that. So I don't need that open. All right, let's try something here real quick. So sure enough, all right, and we're gonna see if this is still supported. Because if not, this might be the death nail of doing this in Gremlin. Because I need to be able to do that partial search. All right. Visual Studio wants to be really slow on another monitor. Now it's not responding. There we go. So let's create a new project. I think I clicked on it, yeah. Actually, while that's coming up, create item, query the items. Okay, that's what I want to look at. All right. Okay, I guess I didn't click on it. There we go. That time it goes. Come on, Visual Studio. Okay, so we're gonna do a console application because we're just gonna we're gonna verify this still works. So basically, all right. So in theory, once you pick a data API, right? So when you build a Cosmos database, or let me rephrase: when you build a Cosmos account, this is actually at the account level, you have to specify the data API, all right? So SQL API, or I think now they call it Core API, Gremlin, Mongo, Cassandra, Table, right? So you have to pick one of those. And let's at least put it on the right drive. Oh, notice I do have .NET 6, so we'll dance with the devil today, and also use .NET 6. So when you create this account, you have to pick one of those data types, and you're not able to change that data type once you've created it. And in theory, you're not supposed to be able to query them the different ways, right? It's supposed to be once you selected it for an account, the databases underneath that are that type. Now, there's always been talk that eventually, they'll allow at least for changing, from going from one type to another. But I don't think that works as well as some people would think, right? It's always been an ask, right? Is let me change from a SQL, a core database to a Gremlin database. Well, the data structures are not really the same, right? How am I supposed to know? How are they supposed to know how to change that, right? So, I love all these little error messages we get right away. Of course, Visual Studio really does not like Ghost Doc. But there has always been a little gap that has allowed us to query a Gremlin database using the SQL API. And the primary reason for that is the way how they implemented the Gremlin database. So this is documented. It's known, and they don't. It's not like where Microsoft says, we take that feature away in 8.1, which, trust me, I've dealt with those kind of features before. But this it's just in there. It's not technically supported because, again, it's there by happenstance. It just, I would love for this package to get updated. It just happens to work, right? And but let's take a look. Like I say, it's been a while since I've written an actual Gremlin application. I've done plenty of Gremlin databases over the last year or so, but I haven't been doing a whole lot of applications. Sorry, I'm kind of stalling while Visual Studio installs this package. I don't know why this machine just seems to go so slow. I'm getting packages to install. I actually think it has something to do with, I really think, and I don't know this because I don't know other people that have the same problem. I have a sneaky feeling it has something to do with the Azure DevOps package management. Because I have a couple of different of Azure DevOps package managers, and I'm hooked up to. And I think that slows this out. Hey, Tech Workbench. So what we're working on right now is we're trying to do some querying. All right. So what we're trying to do is like search for like a Lego set number, but on a partial number. And unfortunately, we were looking at the documentation. Microsoft still has not added support for some key features in Gremlin that will make that work. Of course, right now we're just trying to get a package installed that is apparently just taking forever. There we go. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm validating if something still works. So as I was talking, at least at one point, you could actually query a Gremlin database in Cosmos using the SQL API. And so basically I'm going in and validating you can still do that. All right. So that's what we're looking at right now. So at the moment, talking about as far as API to API, yeah, I mean it's not ideal. All right. Oh, well, as it is, let's do this a little differently, especially because again, I'm just trying to test something. I'm not even going to check this code in. So let's go here. Let's do our little settings trick. Goodness, my machine is just, or Visual Studio, my machine is just slow today. Now I will say, again, I'm in the preview version of Visual Studio, and I just installed .NET 6, and we're playing around. We're in the .NET 6. We're compiling against .NET 6. All right. I mean, this is going to be Lego Master. This is going to be catalog. Where's the lucky Lego shirt? Lego shirt?
Thank you for following. Welcome to TaleLearnCode.
I actually just got a Lego T-shirt. But I it's so funny. It was in this room like 2 hours ago. I moved it. Hey there, Jake. Thank you for that follow. All right, I'll get that value in here in a moment. So we'll just pretend like it's there for a moment. All right, so now I really want to go to this query item async, which is down here. I want to look at this code. So we're going to copy that. Okay, I don't need this comments here. Okay, let's copy the set class from here. Oh. Well, there we go. I just doxed it. Oh, well, I'll change everything a little bit. Luckily, it's easy to change those settings. All right, paste that here. Okay. So is it not liking due to its protection level? Oh. Okay. So now, let's take a look at this here. So we're going to, so instead of select star from C, okay, we're going to say where, so here's what we're going to do. All right, I got to look at this again. So we're going to be looking for, basically we're looking for has label set has set number, I believe it's 10264-1. Yep. So, yeah, it's label. So label set. Yeah, let's look at this article again. It was talking about this. Read all the documents and output them in JSON format. Let's do some. Let's do. Write queries, for instance, to list only vertices, but that is not exactly what I'm looking for. Well, I pretty much always run in Visual Studio Preview. Well, let me rephrase it. Anytime I'm not doing, well, I say on this computer, I'm pretty much always running Visual Studio Preview. Now, well, a month ago, we were working on a Windows Form application, and Visual Studio Preview was having problems with it. So I was using regular Visual Studio, and it seemed to work better. But in general, I'm almost always running Preview Edition. Because I'm looking, you know, because I do write up issues when I see them, all right? And every once in a while you see issues with it. But yes, I'm playing. I'm also playing with .NET 6. So far there's really nothing to play with. I mean there is, but nothing I'm going to be playing with yet. I don't even remember what all was released in Preview 1. I have to look at it again. But what I'm trying to test is the theory that all I have to do is change it to .NET 6 and everything runs, right? So that's part of why I'm just, in my personal side projects, I'm putting .NET 6 to start playing with that, you know, with that theory. Yeah, this is not going to do this right. Not unless... Okay, so let's see here. Let's get to the right thing. Let's do this really simple. So let's do... yeah, looking at this. I mean, we could say c.type equals vertex, because that's an important part of the query. I think let's actually just do it this way. because this might help me a little bit. So select star from, let's just do where c.id equals, because there happens to be ID for this that I'm looking for, right? I'm not really worried about that. I don't even know why they have that in their example code. All right. No, I didn't create the Cosmos client. Or did I? No, because here's all the code. Yeah, that's the piece of code I want. Settings. Yes, .NET 6 is in preview. Well, one, the stuff you could do with Roslyn is pretty darn cool. I mean, no bones about it. The emoji and symbols usage, I think, is novel, right? You know, I mean, it's not. You know, it's not something I would expect to see in a lot of code. I think you're going to see a rash of people putting a whole lot of you know, emojis and stuff in their code. But I think you're also going to see a lot of code reviews like, what is this? Get it out of there, right? What did I? Oh. Yeah, so there we go. So yes, preview 1 was released last week. It was what? That was Wednesday. And like I said, there's a lot actually in here, which, you know, some of the background story, and it's not NDA, but some of the background story makes sense. They pulled things out of .NET 5 and held them out for .NET 6, right? So, I was looking for. Oh yes, I can definitely. So there is the document about .NET 6. There's a lot. There's actually something really interesting coming in Blazor that I'll get to here in a moment. Okay, yeah, they're just this Blazor desktop apps. That is very, very interesting. I actually heard about this. You know, I heard about this about 2 months ago, and I forget whose podcast I heard it on. But I believe they were talking to Scott Hunter, if I remember correctly, and he was bringing this up. And you know, I think this is a brilliant idea, right? And you know, basically, think about what's the JavaScript framework that framework that like Slack, Teams, and even Visual Studio, they all run them.
It's someone's lucky day. Thank you for the gifted subscription.
Code with Sean gifted a tier 1 sub to Scott. They have given 28 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, Sean. And there you go, Scott. Electron is what I was thinking of, right? Think about, the idea of having, being able to do Electron without the bloat that Electron brings to it, right? The Electron has, just look at what Slack does to your machine, right? And Blazor is supposed to get around those kind of problems, but yet create this ability to do desktop apps. So I'm really excited to see this work. I think this will solve some problems. Yeah, and you notice how long this has been, right? Of course, Steve Standerson. He's the one who came up with Blazor to begin with. I was gonna say, look at this. Because this is just a high level to it. Let's see here. Just looking for. Because if we go to the ASP.core, which I think it's going to be under here, I don't know, they're kind of moving Blazor around. Oh, here's what I was looking for. So you go. Now this is just, this is, number one, this is showing you how Microsoft is now doing everything in the public, right? Here's the user story for doing this. All right. And you can kind of see the users. This is the epic, I should say. You can see the user stories they've tied to this, right? Reuse existing Blazor components from a web app in a Blazor hybrid desktop app, right? Create a single project Blazor hybrid desktop app from the .NET CLI. Build, run, and a single project is important, right? Build, run, debug hybrid desktop applications. Native controls alongside web-rendered UI. Platform-specific functionality and individual Blazor components. This is really darn cool. All right. I gotta admit, I think this is going to give Maui a run for its money. All right. I still think Maui has some benefits, right, because of what they're doing with Maui. But boy, this definitely gives it a run for its money, right? And I'll be curious to see, if we look a couple years from now, what is. I don't think one's going to supersede the other. Yeah, well, and that's the Maui that I was talking about. Because that's part of what they're doing is bringing Xamarin really into the .NET framework. Scott, since you are doing all new stuff, I would highly recommend you look at .NET 6 and Maui in particular. So this preview art that I talked about here, this talks about Maui. And you can see there's sample mobile projects, install instructions. That's really where you want to start, I think. You'll be ahead of the game, right? But, this is going to... I think anyone running Xamarin is going to make that leap, I think. I could be wrong. We'll say, here's something else that I need to look in a little more. This was something that was new to me. This micro APIs. The Razor is no longer HTML CSS, so well, the Razor is still HTML CSS. So that's the whole point. Is basically you can do. Really, that's what it boils down to. If you're going to do Maui, you're doing XAML. If you're going to do Blazor, you're doing HTML. Yeah. See, so the biggest feature that caught my eye. Now, I'd already I already knew about this one, right? The desktop apps one. But those micro APIs, this is really interesting. And I had not heard anything about this until I saw this article the other day. Now, with that being said, I'm reading through this, and I don't see exactly what they're trying to do, right? I mean, I see what they're trying to do, but I don't see what they're trying to do. Because of some of the follow-up comments here. But I do like this idea of a micro API, right? So kind of getting, my hope with it. So web API is cool, right? It's a great thing. And I know of really good applications that are using web API, but you end up carrying a lot of extra weight. So I don't think like an Azure function, right? I think just kind of getting rid of some of the routing stuff that's going on. Because so you look at their goals, right? They say improve endpoint routing on a point. Can make it default API storage, API core. Don't create APIs for small apps. Like I said, I think their story needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, is my opinion. But I like the idea of what I'm trying to see. Yeah, here you go. This is a perfect example. Interesting design goal for .NET 6. I think it's a great idea. I've had a hard time when I couldn't sell people on ASP.NET because they want a banana, but not the gorilla in the forest too. All right. No, I mean your gateway would still be pointing to because your gateway is still pointing to an API. So, like I say, my understanding, and I really do hope. I have not dug in to see, because most of the comments are 4 days old. So this is still kind of new to the whole community. All right.
Your Tier 1 subscription is appreciated.
Hey there, Blixley. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, loaded as you expect. Yeah, I mean, that's... yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This is something. One, I'm hoping that there is a what's called a PGI, a product group interaction, sometime soon. Or I know they'll be talking about this at the MVP Summit. So I'm really looking forward to hearing, what Microsoft was really doing with this, and start getting some good samples and everything. But that's not till the end of next month, right? The summit. Maybe I do wonder, because Microsoft Ignite is coming up. Coming up very soon. Wow, that's next week. Why has there been this has been very quiet. Like I said, this is next week. I'm not even signed up for it. I mean, that's a problem. Here, I'm just trying to do this real quick so I can get the... well, build will be in May. Yeah, let me not put all my information here. Just a second here. Because they're also going to ask for my zip code. I'm not going to show my zip code to everybody. Oh, I guess I could put my P.O. box zip code. Alright, that should at least get me far enough that... Alright, let's see here. Yeah. No, I'm not a government employee. Submit. Where are these questions coming from? Submit. I mean, let it be known, I'm not... Well, so the funny thing is, it's not that hard to find my information. Some of my businesses actually list my home address. I've been changing that. I just love these. What is my yeah, there we go. That would make sense. Goodness, there's a lot here. Architect. They really want to get down into this. It's interesting because I'm like in two different areas, but whatever. My two primary technology areas. Well, yeah, Azure. And I guess number two is data. Of the choices they give you. All right. So now, what I really wanted was really? Where did I go to the first? Oh yeah, my Ignite. That's what I was looking for. I'm already registered. I still don't see the schedule. Have they not listed a schedule for this yet? I mean, sure enough, this is next week. Here we go. We now know where McNerdy's is at. What is this 3-word? I've never heard of this before. Yeah, we're gonna say, isn't .NET Conf also next week? Huh. Well, I've got this, but this just tells me, yeah, but it doesn't tell me like the sessions. To be honest with you, Microsoft's probably just trying to figure it out. Weird. Oh, it's this Thursday. Okay. I couldn't remember. Let's see. I'm just looking at the... Yeah, no. I was looking at the email real quick. There's nothing in there, too. Yeah, thank you for that link, Sean. Yeah, so sure enough, it's a Thursday. You've got that kind of focus on Windows, right? So if you got any interest on Windows development, I highly recommend you check this out. I do not know Jasmine, but I know Javier and Sam. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's Mitch Manners. But will there be a Blazor desktop? Probably not on Thursday. Find a way to leave a Windows on top, like picture-in-picture we have in Twitch TV. You know, I don't know. I'm sure there's some way you could do that. At least within an application. I don't know if you could do that. You know, like for the whole Windows itself. Let's see here. So here we can see at least this agenda, right? Yeah, so we'll have our welcome session. You know. Yes, upgrading, what's new. I do love what's new in Visual Basic on .NET 5. That's the third topic. You know, but think about what we're talking about here, right? This is the Windows focus. Guess what most of the development on Windows is? It's going to be in Visual Basic, right? Yeah, they're all recorded. They're all recorded. Same thing with Ignite. It's all recorded. So like here, now I'll pass this along here. So like here's all the past stuff, all right? Because they've been doing these focuses, all right? So like they did a focus on Blazor 10 months ago. Of course, it's 10 months ago. This is all outdated at this point, all right? But then if I click on technical, it should be. Yeah, you start seeing links to all the slides, and I actually like the way how they did this one. Ignite is a different way, but Ignite's got a whole lot more stuff. All right. I said the main event wasn't 3 months ago. But something got updated. Yeah, so here you can see like they do. I think they do a good job with this. All right. So the point is, yes, everything is up here, and the nice part is you also have. This is something that Ignite does not do. All right, it is, and I just picked a session out of random, right? But one of the nice parts about Ignite, about .NET Conf, is not only can I watch the videos, I can get the slides. You know, which, you know, I will say as a speaker, these would be awesome. Well, C# Fritz actually, he basically will be the MC. Well, it's not the MC. That's not the right way of putting it. He is like the director for .NET Conf. So, I mean, he that's one of his jobs, is actually managing all this stuff. All right, I'm gonna. We can keep it talking. But I'm gonna keep on looking at this a little bit. I don't. Yes, definitely. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot to plug your meetup tomorrow night. I need to go back. I need to get back to my plugging stuff on Monday like I used to do. So sure enough, tomorrow night, you know, we've got ASP.NET and Linux and Windows containers. You know, this will be at the Tulsa.net. So this is not a Twitch. You do have to sign up and you know, and go to the and go to the Cisco link and all that good stuff. But this is Rob Richardson, you know, who has the best hair in software development. All kidding aside, I mean, he does have really good hair. But, you know, Rob is an awesome speaker. I know I will probably be late because I'll be doing my Code Louisville. But basically, once I'm finished Code Louisville, I'll be jumping on to here, checking out what Rob has to say. He's been doing a lot of stuff with Docker and such. St. Louis didn't stop. They had like something like maybe tonight even. Hold on. Should be here somewhere. Of course, it's gonna be kind of hard for me to find Lewis when. Yeah, here we go. St. Louis.NET user group. Yeah, they got Paul Sheriff coming in March, and I mean they've got quite a few sessions scheduled. And yeah, today they had Jeffrey Palmero. So they're so they're definitely around. I mean they've been kind of better than I have been. They got more meetups scheduled. I gotta get some more meetups scheduled. So, sure enough, I don't get to attend the, and the reason is because I'm usually 6:30. I'm usually eating my dinner, trying to get ready for TaleLearnCode on Monday nights. All right, so getting back to here because let me see how this comes back. Pretty sure there's a way I could search the whatchamacallits. The properties. I just have to do it a certain way. Remember, I don't think this is going to list this right. I know it's not going to list it right. Open up too many things. Here we go. This is what I will look at. see. Okay. Given information, we can write queries easily. For instance, to list only vertices. Okay, so he's just getting those two values. See, that's right. I didn't use this so much for querying before. I used it for writing. Just trying to remember some things I did a while back. Really? What Tojo? I'm not sure. I gotta admit, not to say you can't, but I've never known. Can you ban people? I can remove from the group. I don't know. I don't know what. I'm not going to remove someone, right? I mean, that would be silly of me. I could always remove Sean, you know. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right. So I've come to the big realization that unless I need the ability to do queries that I can do likes, and I don't know why I clicked that one. I want that one. And unless Microsoft tells me, because I'm going to contact them tomorrow, but unless they tell me, oh yeah, we've got the coming out here soon. Here, you want the preview to it. If I can't do this filter, I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted to do. Let me look at one more thing here. Well, link needs to be for link to work. Link has to be able to do well. No, the only way I can make link work is to return everything back. Right? I don't want to returning, 19,000 sets, right, or however number of sets there are. There's it's not 19,000, more than that. There's 16,000 sets, right? I mean that would be bad, data usage. That would make any framework look like a good thing, right? Just as a PC, yeah. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Especially if I get parts, there's 38,000 different part records, right? So for me to find a part, I'd have to bring back 38,000 records. The cost of that query would be outrageous, right? Because if you think about it, I don't know why I need to copy that. I could easily type that. So, now, the errors I'm getting right now, that's because the portal is doing something. Here's what I want. Yeah, that query costs 2,000 RUs, right? Yeah, it's one thing when you're on a free, doing some proof of concept type stuff, but that's expensive. All right, to have people doing that all the time. Could do caching. I could definitely do caching. I could also query it against the table database. That might be a way of doing it. Because now I don't put all the data in here, but I don't necessarily need all the data. Well, that'd be slow though. Because it's not really that much data. Well, I'm looking for something here. Yeah, just to give you an idea, right? In order to, I mean, I would be at least paying $350 a month, right? Yeah, that we're not going to want to be doing that. Yeah, Scott, this is one of those, and again, Gremlin itself is capable. It goes back up to my, is this going to give me what I'm looking for? No, I'm trying to find... I'm looking for something here. Oh. I thought you were saying no to Gremlin. That's what I thought you were saying. Gremlin is a graph database language, right? And so graph databases, me. So like if you look, this is a representation of the data we've been building. And this is the way how a graph looks, right? So, I have my sets, which relate to a theme, which also relate to parts, right? So what is the uses is complicating this? Being able to search, right? Being able to say, what I need to be able to do your database scheme. Yeah, I mean it's a different way. It's a different way of storing your data. What I need is to be able to do something like this. To if I look at like not rubric, let's look at Bricklink. All right. Bricklink. If I type in 10264, it's going to find that for me, right? Now it's going to find a couple other things that we wouldn't have because we don't have. Well, let's do brick set. So 10264, right? So if I search for that, but here's the thing. Notice that the actual ID is 10264-1, right? And that is the ID, that is the set number that I have in my database. I can tell you right now, I never search for -1, right? I always just search for, 10264. Same thing with the name, right? I mean, I should be able to, say garage, and and return multiple, multiple values, all right? Goodness. Look at that one. Talking about an old set here. Oh, they don't have the year on this. Oh, here we go. 1969. So there are a couple of things I could do. And I mean, I could... The one thing I could do, I'd have to add some values in here. But we do have. Let me get out of there so I make sure I don't screw something up there. So we have this set of values here, right? This is in table storage. And I could. There is the ability to search for partition key set. It's not going to, I think I can just search for brickable ID. That's not 0264-1 query. No. Where am I putting the values in there? Oh, it was the row key is what I want to look at. Yeah, okay, so now, well, it's not going to be here, but if I do it in last time we used some big queries direct to database, 5 times slower than Solar. I gotta admit, I think what might actually make sense. To be honest, well, okay, you know what might make sense? Let's think about this. So we have our Gremlin database, right? And that is the core database. That's really where everything is stored, right? So what if we had like that? Actually, let's do this right. So we have our Gremlin database. Really? Just do rectangles. Doesn't matter shape. We have our Gremlin database. So we have that. And what I could do, fanciness. This is actually welcome to the world of an architect. This is the way how I think. So then I could, but then I could have a table database, right? So Azure storage table. It basically is a key value. Yeah. So have something like you know, goodness, partition key equals the Gremlin label, row key equals the Gremlin ID. But then have hey Copper, how's it going? Then have you know, and then we could have something like well, yeah, set name, set number. Well, let's just have a name and a set number. Actually, just have a number. Right, so and then I would also add in Redis cache. All right. So the Redis cache gets its data from there. The Azure storage gets its data from there. What did I just do? And then so, you know, on our API, right? The API would first, goodness, I need to check my mouse. I've been having issues like that. There we go. So this would be, first it would grab it from here, and then it can grab it from here, all right?
Thank you for following. Welcome to TaleLearnCode.
What exactly is Azure? Is it sort of like SQL? Well, Azure is a whole lot bigger than that. Azure is the cloud, right? It's Microsoft's cloud set of offerings, right? So there, I mean, Azure itself is not one thing. It is a couple hundred different things, right? So, so anyway, we go to Microsoft Azure, and you can see, you know, 200 plus products, right? In all kinds of different categories, right? So it's all the cloud offer. Well, I shouldn't say all. It is the cloud development and infrastructure offerings from Microsoft. Now, with that being said, there is Azure Sql, right, which is a SQL Server implementation in the cloud, right? So that, you know, so like on here, you know, I talk about Azure storage table, right? So Azure Storage is actually one of those service options, right? And then within Azure Storage, you have a couple different types of storage you can get in here. Really, the plugins would be what you use to get to the services. So yeah, so then just going back to this. So first we go against the cache. And then we go against the gremlin if need be. All right. Yeah, it's Walmart for cloud services. That is a way of putting it. Yeah, because they have about just as many products. And thing is, Walmart runs on Azure. Microsoft is very proud of that fact. So yeah, so that could solve my problem and could actually speed things up. Think about it, right? So Redis cache is an in-memory database, right? So it doesn't write anything to a physical storage, right? It's all in memory. And if we look at the raw data, so here's the raw data. This is what here are the CSV files that build this all up, right? And really, I wouldn't have. I mean, there's kind of some extra in here. Well, sure enough, if we were to really look at parts, sets, inventory parts, because that makes up that, colors, elements. No, I don't even need elements. Why is category missing? Well, you're right. So, 20 megs, right? Actually, all of it is 22 megs. All right. So, I think that's all within the bottom tier of cache. Azure. Products. Redis. Pricing, that's what I wanted to see. So sure enough, yeah, the sizes. Well, yeah, I mean that's part of why I stream, right? Is I could write this on my own. I do some of the stuff on my own, but yeah, look how much more fun it is when I get to talk to 32 other folks about what I'm working on and take input, right? So I grant you basic is basic, right? I think let me. Yeah, so basic 250 megabytes is $16. All right, that's a whole lot cheaper than having to scale out. I mean, here's the other thing I could do. I could do some more stuff within. I could really blow out my graph database. As a matter of fact, well, no, that wouldn't even work because it still won't let me do those partial searches. But I'm almost positive with Redis I can do a partial search. Let me look that up. Well, right there, documentation. I could do a search index. But actually, I think this would even be faster. Because even the search, well, I mean, you can get SSD type stuff and, the premium. Let's see here. Let me... string get. Let's see, simple ping, simple get to put input of integral data with types. Just trying to remember. Yeah, because I can.
Thank you for following. Welcome to TaleLearnCode.
Hey there, Atticus. Thank you for that follow. I really do appreciate that. Store.net options, cache. That's right. Because I could store you actually store the .NET object, right? So I could store, like, the list. Which really means I could, and actually the API, because I can make that a web API, and then it could actually store, because really it's not that much data I'm storing that would be stored in the application's memory. And there you can do some link against it to search for, where the name, like that. So yeah, that would work. All right, so with that in mind, and I still think this multiple breakdown makes sense. Because, let's see here. Because I think what I can do... what was I going to look up? Oh, I was going to look up... yes, you can share a link. Azure functions, bindings. I forgot that was in public preview. Oish. Gotta use the REST API for Gremlin. So yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. Yeah, table storage, but as a binding, not as a trigger. Well, I can get input, yeah. That's right. Yeah, that type of input. So, well, there's definitely some interesting things I can do here. All right. But I tell you what, I think I'm gonna think about this a little bit, and I actually think I'm gonna wrap up for the night because, as I mentioned, I have been in deep thought all day. But I actually would like to think about this a little bit because, like what like what Tech Workbench proposes, the Azure Search could be also an option. I'm also kind of thinking, how much over do I want to keep Gremlin? All right, I could solve a lot of these problems. I mean, I was thinking about building this multiple ways, the data itself. So I could also build it instead as a document database. All right, and then and the core API does have the ability to do light queries. I know that for a fact. I wrote them just 2 months ago, with good results. Now, I mean, with that being said, this whole thing, getting it from cache and everything, there are some nice speed benefits with doing that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up for the night, and I think I'm gonna think about that for a bit. I think I'm gonna go downstairs and build some Lego. Let's see here. Well, Harold was on. That's probably who we're going to go to. But that's, just take a look here real quick at the live coders on right now.
Valheim! Otherwise...
Yeah, let's go to our buddy Harold. And I apologize for a short stream. I usually try to stream a whole lot longer than this.
That's not what I'm blowing out.
But,
Hello.
I like it. He's helloing at me. But I think stopping at this point makes some good sense. So everyone, I really do appreciate it. Definitely stick around for Harold. He's always doing some really interesting stuff, and hope to see you all Wednesday night. Where I'll talk about what I said to do, and we'll start building that. I might do some of it tomorrow night also. All right, everyone. See ya.